Well, and welcome to the WaltInPA YouTube channel. My name is Walt, and it is Sunday, September, I don't know, 20-something. And it is gloomy out here. As you can see, the roads are still a little wet from the rain we had yesterday. And I actually was trying to talk myself out of going for a ride this morning. And that's terrible. So all week last week I was putting off going for a ride. We had a number of beautiful days, but I was swamped at work. I really didn't have time to get out. So every time, you know, the small opportunity presented itself to get out for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, I just put it off. I thought, it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. I'll just go out tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come around and I told myself, still busy. I'll just put it off until the following day. And the following day turned into the next following day, which turned into, I'll just ride this weekend. Well, Saturday rolls around. I get up at 4 a.m. I do some prep work. I start looking at some routes, some places I want to ride to. I check the sunrise time. And then finally, I check the weather, and what do you know? Lots of rain coming in. So I missed out riding yesterday because of the rain. And then this morning, I did pretty much the same thing. I got up at 4:30, got some stuff done this morning. I figured out where I wanted to go. And then I checked the weather. No rain. It's going to be mostly cloudy throughout the day. About 65 degrees or so. And I thought, all right, well, today's the day. We're going to get out and do some riding. Then I walked out my front door and I saw this, which was pretty much wet streets and just gloom. So that's when I started with the procrastination again. I thought, it's not going to be a great day. Where you want to go, it's got dirt trails and paths, and it's going to be wet, and you're in riding boots. I don't know about all this. So I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to go for a ride today. And then that's when I checked the weather and I saw the forecast for the rest of the week. More rain. And the only nice day I've got something going on. And next weekend my wife works, so I won't be getting out. So it was either get out and ride now or wait at least a week before I'd be on the bike again. So I opted to get out here in this not so picturesque weather and go for a bit of a ride while I still can, because pretty soon I'm going to be wishing for weather like this when there's snow on the ground, or when it's 30 degrees. Alright, so today I was planning on riding out to the Knox Bridge. It's a covered bridge out in the Valley Forge National Park. And as I do anytime I go to a covered bridge, this morning when I sat down with my cup of coffee, I started looking at the route. It's really not a difficult route. There's not a whole lot going on. Basically, ride out the 724, take 74 out to, I guess it's 23, ride 23 out to 252, and the bridge is about 100 yards off the road on 252, or off of 252. So the route was so simple I didn't even need a GPS for it. The issue though was when I dropped into Street View, because Street View is an invaluable tool for prepping to go to these covered bridges. So I drop into Street View and I'm kind of going through the bridge, and I'm looking for parking. Where can I put the bike? Because a lot of these covered bridges, they aren't meant to be walked through. You drive through them. They're one-lane bridges. And I don't know that they were ever I don't know that they ever had a pull-off in mind so that you could get off and admire, or get out of your car or get off your bike and admire it while you're walking through it. And the Knox covered bridge was very much that way. So I'm roaming about on the Google Street View, and I can't find any place to park. There's a little pull-off, or not, it's not even a pull-off, it's almost like a corner that they've painted off, where I could have possibly put the bike, but it just wouldn't have been a very good place. I could just see that getting smacked by a truck or something coming around the bend. So that was out, and then on the other side of the bridge I really couldn't find anything there either. The only thing I saw was a walking trail, and it had these metal posts, you know, to keep traffic off of it or away from it. And I'm looking at that thing and I'm thinking, like, I could obviously get the bike in between the vertical posts. And then there's a little dirt section off of the walking trail. I could probably put the bike there. So I'm kind of debating it. You know, do I really want to ride all the way down there, park my bike on the sidewalk in a national park? Like, I'm afraid I'm going to get a ticket or something. So I opted to can that trip. So we'll do the Knox Covered Bridge at some other point. I know Goofy Bastard is down that way. Maybe he knows, maybe he can give me some tips, or maybe we can get together and check out that bridge, and then maybe he can give me a tour through the park itself, because I haven't been down there in a long time. So this morning we're doing something easy. You know, the roads are wet. I know I'm going to have leaves in the road to contend with. They're starting to drop and change color. And I also have, you know, some wet patches, so I didn't want to go real far. So this morning I'm going to take a ride out to the Daniel Boone homestead, which is the birthplace of Daniel Boone. I think he was there for a very short time when he was a child, and then moved to whichever other state takes credit for Daniel Boone. It might be Ohio or Kentucky, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to take a ride over there, take a walk around the historical area, and then kind of call it a day. I've got some stuff to do this afternoon, and I'm not really sure when those plans start, so I don't want to be out too long. You know, I realize at this point in the video that this recording has absolutely no point at all. From a storyline perspective, it's awful. It has a beginning, you know, I tell you about the rain and all that, and it has a middle, I guess, where I tell you that I changed my plans, and the end is the end is basically I'm going to record another video, and I'll talk about that one in another one. So it's almost like a cliffhanger, and in the grand scheme of things, this video doesn't have much of a point. So, you know, maybe to give this video some kind of purpose, since right now it doesn't really have one, let's circle back to the beginning and pose a question. Alright, so I had mentioned that I was trying to talk myself out of going for a ride because the weather conditions weren't ideal. That they're not bad. I mean, the roads are a little moist. But this is, you know, far from bad riding weather. I mean, sure, the birds could be chirping, the cloud, you know, could be clear blue skies, but it's not, and really that isn't a big deal. So that kind of frames the question, and that is, how less than ideal does the weather need to be for you to put off going on a casual ride? Now, I'm not talking something you've had planned for a while, a trip. Like, I understand you're probably going to do those regardless. But let's say simple casual ride. Just felt like hopping on the bike, taking a ride around town. You know, maybe an hour, hour and a half, that sort of thing. You know, how less than ideal does the weather need to be for you to put off that little casual trip? And I suppose every question needs a follow-up question. And that is, What is the longest you've gone without going for casual ride? You know, as a result of rain or just poor weather or procrastination. Again, we're not talking about, you know, winter set in and it snowed for 2 months and I didn't get on the bike. You know, we're talking just, you know, simple little everyday life things getting in the way. You know, how big of a time span are we looking at for you in terms of longest, going the longest without a ride? For me this season, it was about 2 weeks. I took a tree down, which took all weekend and a little bit more. And then after that, we just had torrential rain for a solid week and a half. Had flooded basement. It just wasn't, it was a pretty nasty 2-week span. And I totally didn't get on the bike at all. So that was the longest for me this season. So again, circle back around. How less than ideal does the weather need to be for you to put off a casual ride? And how long was the longest stretch for you to not be on the bike this season? But I think that's going to do it. So with that said, thank you for watching this video. I'm not going to give you the whole sales pitch, you know, to click the subscribe button and all that. So thank you for watching, and until next time, ride safe, and I will, well, catch you in the next one. I think I just said that, but